My father found an old woolen cardigan at the back of the wardrobe and sent me up to the roof to ask Mr. Lazarus to be good enough to change the buttons and strengthen the seams. Yes, indeed. It's only an old rag, possibly unwearable, Father said, but he seems to be hungry for bread, and charity is offensive, so let's send it up to him. He can change the buttons, earn a few pasters, make him feel he's appreciated. My mother said, all right, new buttons, but why send the boy? Go yourself, talk to him, ask for a glass of tea. Definitely, said Father sheepishly, and a moment later he added decisively, yes, indeed, we must definitely invite him. Mr. Lazarus fenced in the far corner of the roof with an old bedsteads, reinforced with wire, and make a kind of coop or cage, spread out some straw from an old mattress, bought half a dozen hens, and asked Mother to add in Hebrew on the remaining half of his notice, and fresh eggs for sale. But he would never sell one of his hens or be killed and eaten at least feast a day. On the contrary, they said Mr. Lazarus had given each hen a name, and he used to go out on the roof at night to check if they were sleeping soundly. One day, Cheetah Resnick and I hid among the water tanks and heard Mr. Lazarus arguing with his hens in German, declaring, insisting, explaining, even humming them a tune. Sometimes I took up dry breadcrumbs on a jar of reject lentils that my mother told him to pick out. When I was feeding the hens, Mr. Lazarus would sometimes come and touch me suddenly on the shoulder, his fingertips, and then he would shake his fingers as though he had burned himself. We had lots of people who talked to thin air, or someone who wasn't there. On the roof, behind Mr. Lazarus's chicken run, I installed a lookout post from which I had an excellent view of the other roofs. I could even squint into the British Army camp. I used to stand there, concealed among the water tanks, lying on the evening roll call, down to particulars in the notebook, and I aimed a sniper's rifle at them and wiped them all out in a single economical, precise salvo.